Hi friends, welcome to PowerTalk Premium, where I show those of you in my inner circle of followers special techniques and ideas. I'm Scott Giles, minister hypnotist, and the guy who shows you how to get help from the other side. The other side is the mental and spiritual world, but you access them through your unconscious mind. You don't have to stay stuck or ill or be unhappy, because there is a power that can help. And that power is inside of you, and your own mind can make it available. Now, this video is probably going to get me into a little bit of trouble, but I think that being antisocial can be a sign of intelligence. Now, I am no one to talk about fitting into mainstream culture. I don't think I'm antisocial, but I'm certainly independent and very, very self-reliant. I grew up in a counterculture after I departed from my family of origin, and so I have a different understanding about relationships and how people behave. Now, I have formally been accused of being antisocial, but really I think I'm authority counter-dependent. As you grow up in certain environments, you learn that you can't trust others. So you discount claims when someone announces that they're the authority or they're in charge, and you press against that. Antisocial means you are actively working to undercut the social patterns of others, lying, law-breaking, and so on. That's not what I'm talking about. In my case, the loner lifestyle has been a survival skill. You quickly learn you can't depend on anyone else, so you learn to depend on yourself. Now, solitude isn't loneliness, and there's nothing wrong with it. Those of you who have had life journeys that include having to separate from family or other groups of people and going it on your own will probably resonate to that insight that loneliness is not the same as solitude. Solitude is voluntary. It doesn't cause pain. It's something you choose because you want it. Now, currently, 70% of the U.S. population is extroverted. That is, they like other people. They like talking to other people. They think out loud. There is a psychological instrument called the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator. I am accredited to score it. That particular instrument, when it was normed, showed that the vast majority, 70% plus, are extroverted in American culture. So introverts, people who don't need others in the same way, are a distinct minority. Now, study after study will point out that extroverted people are typically more popular and liked. But when you screen for high intelligence, those numbers break down. Highly intelligent people, regardless of extroversion or introversion, hold a certain cognitive distance from others. Even the most extroverted, bright person does this because they've learned that other people will game them, and they don't want to be gamed. A study published in 2016 in the British Journal of Psychology talked about the Savannah theory of happiness. That is, responses developed at other times in human culture, like when we were semi-wild living on the African savanna. Those responses, adaptive though they may have been in that circumstance, do not always translate well into modern life. In state of nature, it's adaptive and helpful to be part of a herd. But modern civilization sometimes require more independent thinking and going against one's social groups. The brightest people can do this. People who crave acceptance, less so. There is a mental process called incubation. A 2020 study in the Psychonomic Bulletin and Review shows that people who have the most cognitive resources are prone to actually allow their mind to wander, to daydream a bit. However, they can do this without losing their task focus. So they can kind of tuck an idea into their minds and just let it sit and germinate to see if there's something about it that will spark something and pay a benefit. People who are more laser focused in their attention kind of miss out on that process. So if other people think you are snooty or detached, it doesn't necessarily mean there is anything wrong with you. You simply have a temperament and interior style that doesn't match that of the larger culture. People will automatically assume that different means bad or wrong, when actually the testimony of science is otherwise. So if you have been held up as blameworthy because you're not an outgoing social person, do not be dismayed. You might have an issue and need to learn some social skills, or you might just be bright enough to embrace a set of rules that serves you better. And if so, good for you. Hey, thank you for your time and attention today. I'll be back next week with another talk on a different subject. If you're wondering if I can be of help to you, please consider working directly with me. We can work in person or online. Feel free to reach out through my website for a complimentary, no-obligation discovery call, and always use the full power of your mind because you deserve it.